Hello again for the Daily Bread Bible Study. We are looking at day 90 for Monday, April 6th, 2020, focusing on 2 Samuel chapters 20 through 22. Here we get to see a little bit more about King David. Even though there is a rebellion, I think things go more positively for him today. So let's look at that here in 2 Samuel 20. Picking it up in verse 1. Now a scoundrel named Sheba, son of Bichri, a Benjaminite, happened to be there, and he sounded the trumpet and cried out, "We have no portion in David, no share in the son of Jesse. Everyone to your tents, O Israel." This is continuing the challenge that we saw last time, the fight between Israel, the tribes, and then the specific tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah was seeking to bring David back to Jerusalem after his son Absalom has been killed. And so David, now the reigning king, undisputed, was going to be brought back by all of Israel. But the Israelites had problems with their brethren who in the tribe of Judah being so close to King David. And so Sheba, this Benjaminite, takes offense at that and tries to lead a rebellion away. Sheba then leads people of Israel to defect from King David, and the king's instructions for his commander to pursue the defectors, which he gives to his commander Amasa, and Amasa fails to do in the allotted time. Now, is this because Amasa sympathizes with the defectors, knowing that Amasa was actually Absalom's commander against King David, that he appointed in the place of Joab? But I'm not exactly sure what's happening with Amasa. Is he just incompetent? We'll see kind of in the next scene that there might be a little bit of that too. But King David then instructs Abishai, another commander, to go, and the former commander Joab goes with his brother Abishai. Joab and Amasa meet. So Joab, the former commander, and Amasa, the one who replaced Joab, then meet together. Judging him as an unfit replacement, Joab then decides to kill Amasa, as it says, with one kind of forceful strike. Joab leaves the slain man in the spot that he struck him on the road, which causes a big scene. One of Joab's men states in 2 Samuel 20, verse 11, "Whoever favors Joab and moreover is for David, let him follow Joab." So they remove Amasa's body, and everyone then turns and follows Joab in pursuit of the defectors. The forces of David follow Abishai and Joab to the city of Abel, where the defector Sheba is hiding. They plan to siege the city, but a wise woman then speaks with Joab in verse 19. "I am one of those who are peaceful and faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city that is a mother in Israel. Why will you swallow up the heritage of the Lord?" After talking, they agree not to siege the city, and in return for the head of the defector. The women in the city grant the request, tossing the head of Sheba over the wall. With the uprising stops, everyone returns home. Joab then regains his position as commander, and the rest of David's leaders are noted there at the end of chapter 20. 2 Samuel 21 is breaking promises has consequences, and for the Israelites, they believe that the Lord sent a famine on them for 3 years. Upon investigating, the cause is King Saul not respecting a promise made to the Gibeonites by Joshua. This goes back to the first days of the conquest of Canaan. Joshua leads successful battles against Jericho and Ai, as we discussed on day 66 there in Joshua chapter 9. The Gibeonites tricked the Israelites into a treaty, and thus Joshua allowed the Gibeonites to reside with the Israelites. It's the whole Hivites pretending to be, a fair distance away, and they had packed moldy breads and basically went on the other side of the hill to try and persuade this new conquesting Israelite group, the tribes, to spare them, and they have that granted, and then later on they find that they are just neighbors over very close to them. So because of their shrewdness, the Gibeonites were able to receive a special blessing that none of the other tribes were able to give. So it says in Joshua 9:15, "And Joshua made peace with them, guaranteeing their lives by a treaty, and the leaders of the congregation swore an oath to them." But King Saul had different ideas. He didn't care about that old promise. 2 Samuel 21:2, it says, "Although the people of Israel had sworn to spare them, Saul had tried to wipe them out in his zeal for the people of Israel and Judah." In atonement, King David asks the Gibeonites how to make amends. The Gibeonites propose having 7 sons of Saul sacrificed publicly. King David consents. His only stipulation is that one of those is not Mephibosheth, in order to maintain the promise that he had made to his good friend Jonathan, son of Saul. So the 7 men are killed, and the famine passes. God again blesses the people as the battles against the Philistines are successful, and the end of the chapter dictates the might of the servants of David after David's physical strength wanes. Others fight giants and win, and a concise summary is given in the last verse. 2 Samuel 21:22, "These 4 were descended from the giants in Gath, and they fell by the hands of David and his servants." So we have some giant slayers on our hands, not only David. Here in chapter 22, we have a song of David's thanksgiving to God. It's a little different. This poetry, is where David spoke to the Lord. 2 Samuel 21:1 says, "David spoke to the Lord these words of the song on the day when the Lord delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul." Themes include, "The Lord is a rock of my salvation," and some famous lines, a song that I remember hearing up at camp when I was growing up, and then also when I was camp counselor. 2 Samuel 22:4, "I call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies." Also, death seems present as a theme, but God heard him and delivered David. 2 Samuel 22:19-20 is also another theme. "They came upon me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was at my stay. He brought me out into a broad place. He delivered me because he delighted in me." And verse 28 reminds us, "You deliver a humble people, but your eyes are upon the haughty to bring them down." And all the summary of this is wrapped up here with David's praise for God in verse 50 and 51. "For this I will extol you, O Lord, among the nations, and sing praises to your name. He is a tower of salvation for his king, and shows steadfast love to his anointed, to David and his descendants forever." Thus, we have the king giving thanks to God, giving thanks for all that God has given to him, giving thanks for the everlasting covenant and the line of David, which will be very important in the New Testament, as Jesus will come from that line of David to sit on God's throne. That's what we as Christians believe. But as we look back at our lives, may you too be able to sing God's praise in your lives, even in the midst of enemies and challenges and adversities and calamities that may happen to you.